Hello, friend, and welcome back to Girl in Flux. My name is Megan. I'm the Girl in Flux, and this is my project of reading my high school diary almost every single day to reflect on my past, see how much I've grown, and how what I pay attention to has evolved. But also, this is my way of putting out my words into the void, aka the internet, and letting them go, and so that I can move on with my life instead of ruminating on my memories and my past situations and everything that has happened in my adolescence that and how it affected me today. Um, I find myself, as I say in my intro video, to have a retrospective tendency. I always just daydream probably about my memories, and I think that saying them out loud is helping me let go of them and move on and focus on the present and moving forward. So, without further ado, I'm on my 10th episode. This is July of my junior year. And just a disclaimer, this is a pretty low point of my life. I was struggling with anorexia. This was my peak, probably not my peak, but um, the point of my eating disorder where I was in denial. I was getting help. I had a whole therapy team. My parents were very supportive of me in my recovery, but I also there was parts of me that were fighting back and not wanting to recover. And then I was also having a pretty rough time at school, not really academically wise, but I was very high achieving, and I had run for so many positions to try and get leadership roles because leadership in clubs is like the gold standard of being a high school student. Apparently, that's what I really cared about, to look good for college applications. And I was experiencing a lot of loss and rejection in taking risks and running for these positions. So that's a little bit of context for this. And this entry is kind of special because it's a prayer. I am Catholic, and I do believe that when I pray when I feel like there's nothing else I can do. I just try and utilize, or not utilize, but lean into my relationship with God. And He was there for me when I was most alone in my life. Anorexia is a very isolating disorder. So this entry I put at the top on July 14th, 2017. Is this July? Yeah, July. So it was my summer, after my junior year. It says a prayer. I think I was getting pretty desperate. So, yes, let's get into it, shall we? A prayer. It's the middle of summer and I'm losing hope. Rejected by National Honor Society, rejected by SGA, which is the Student Government Association. I think I ran for vice president and I lost. Rejected by Angels Network, another club. Rejected by the River Hill Village Center. I ran for some student organization position to be on like the board of the village center, a student representative, and I lost. And I know that rejection is something that we all have to experience in life, but it's so painful when you truly gave your heart and soul into the application, into writing, into the interviews, and tried to be as authentic as you could, and then the final answer is a no, decided by someone else. And I hated, and I still hate how so much of our lives depend on people letting us in the door. And when you gave all you got to try and let them recognize that you are worthy of being let in the door, but they ultimately say no, it's one of the worst, most discouraging, disheartening feelings in the world. And you feel depleted, you feel worthless, you feel like, what else can I give when there's nothing else to give within me? So that's my ramble on rejection. Still feeling that to this day. So I was rejected by all these things I ran for in an attempt to be a student leader, which was so important for college applications. And that's what I was paying attention to. That was what was on my mind. Because college meant an escape from this hole I was in my hometown, and just I felt suffocated. Okay, back to the entry. What the heck? I used to be on the ball, on top of the world. I used to be full of potential and on the path towards an Ivy League. What happened, God? Oh yeah, anorexia. Now, about to face senior year, I'm lost. I had a dream 2 nights ago of my rejection. Last night I dreamt of running away from something dangerous. I was literally praying for a miracle in my dream. Now I'm praying for a miracle in real life. God, I know I totally misused my gift of free will and that the devil guided me in damaging my body and giving in to this eating disorder. I don't know if I agree with that right now. I don't know if it's devil, evil spirit. That's something in Catholicism that I'm still trying to learn more about. But at least according to my mother, who's a very pious Catholic, it's the reason why I developed this eating disorder is because of free will. I made the free will choice to not treat my body well, not care for myself. And for these intents that were narcissistic, vanity-driven, perfectionism-driven. But also, I don't blame myself at all because I was an adolescent, susceptible to everything. Very vulnerable, very wanting to belong, wanting people, seeking approval, validation from her peers. And the only way I felt like I could do that was to look a certain way. And also it became kind of like a testament to my discipline that I could control food and what I put into my body. And in Catholicism, your body is a temple for God. And I never thought about it that way. And I mistreated it. So I was suffering the consequences. Still am. Okay, moving on. I am seriously begging for some divine intervention. Please, God, please listen to me and help me out of this struggle. I am begging you. Please help me trust you and keep you in mind. All I wanted was a normal high school experience with a boyfriend and driving and good grades. Anorexia has already taken so much from me. Eating disorders are so life-robbing. And even now, almost 5 years later, not even 5, 6 years later, I feel stunted because anorexia took so much life away from me. So even then, I realized how life-robbing it is and how it's just not worth it. God, Please take away this pain I feel every day that causes me to lash out and become a person I never wanted to be. God, I pray for a miracle in my life and that your voice strengthens above the eating disorder thoughts. I pray that some opportunity that I deserve crosses my path. I pray I become a nicer and more loving sister and a more respectful daughter. I pray that you have mercy and forgive all of my horrible sins and lies so that I can move forward with grace. God, I don't think I'm worthy of forgiveness, but I'd like to think that maybe the future isn't as dark as it seems at the moment. God, please give me a sign, any sign, that everything will turn out okay, because I just need something to cling on to so that I don't fall into depression and chronic sadness. God, please, please, please send a miracle my way. I'm desperate, but I trust you. Amen. The end. Okay, pretty heavy stuff. I was begging for anything, a sign of hope, a glimmer of hope, anything. And I can't recall if I did, but I feel like just putting that on paper and praying to God for something to pull me through so that I don't fall into a deep, dark pit helped a little bit. It gave me a little bit of comfort. Prayer is something that does still calm me down to this day. And when life gets so hard, if you don't have that resilience, if you don't have something to lean on to, it's just, it feels so hopeless. Life feels so pointless and hopeless. And I always remember this quote by Kate Bowler, which says, "Life is so hard. Life is so beautiful." And I do believe it. Life is so beautiful, but it's a bitch. It's a bitch. Life's a bitch. Life is so challenging, and at points you feel so stuck in your body and in your situation, and that there's no way out. But I did find hope eventually. I did have a great I had great moments in high school, especially in my senior year and in college too. But there were points when I didn't know if I could go on. And so I turned to divine intervention. And I don't try to impose my religion or religious beliefs on anyone. But I think being spiritual and believing in something larger than yourself is important and nourishing and valuable. And at least in my experience, it is. Because sometimes it's so hard to move on. And I'm rambling now. But yes, that's my entry for today. I hope you're doing well wherever you are, whatever time it is. And I'll see you in the next one. All right, signing off. Bye.